We are now recording.
Good morning and welcome to the May 16th Finance Committee meeting of the State Bar. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. I want to say a good morning to all the Board of Trustee members and also the State Bar staff who are participating this morning. And Tinny, would you, the committee coordinator, would you please, our committee coordinator, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Barahona?
Present.
Buenaventura?
Present.
Good.
Here.
Huser? Not present. Soel?
Present.
Tony?
Present.
Trejo?
Present.
Quorum is established.
Very good. Next on the agenda is the call for public comment. State Bar staff will attempt to call members of the public in the order in which they appear in the attendee pool. For those of you who are participating via Zoom, would request that you please raise your hand through the virtual hand icon in the Zoom function, and you'll be recognized in that manner. For those who may be participating by phone, you may raise your hand by pressing the *9 key, and you'll be recognized in that manner. I guess I also need to ask if there are any members of the public that might be participating from a notice location, and if you would just please notify either the board staff or the board members that may be present at your location, that you're a member of the public and you would wish to make public comment. We do have time restrictions of about 3 minutes per speaker, and you'll see a note of about 30 seconds flashing on the screen when you have about 30 seconds left in your comment period. Just like to ask real quick if there are any members of the public that may be at a notice location where the board members are participating off-site. It doesn't look like it. Tinny, any members of the public raise their hand via Zoom or through the *9 function?
Yes, we have 4 members who have their hands raised, and the first one is Mr. Todd Hill.
Right, Mr. Hill, welcome. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sorrell. Ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Trustees and the Audit and Finance Committees, thank you for the opportunity to comment today. My name is Todd Hill, and as someone who has previously encountered significant transparency issues with the State Bar, I'm here today to discuss crucial improvements needed within your organization. My remarks concern the vital issues raised in the document I submitted as public comment for today's meeting, titled A Hidden Ledger, Public Comments on Reforms for State Bar Closed Session Transparency and GAAP Compliance, in the hope that the State Bar addresses these critical issues. In the pursuit of justice, transparency is not optional, it is essential. The integrity of the State Bar must be beyond reproach, and this begins with how you handle your closed sessions. The shadow of undisclosed liabilities not only undermines your compliance with generally accepted accounting principles, but also diminishes public trust in the institution. True transparency means accountability, a principle vividly outlined in the document. It is imperative that you bring your practices in line with the highest standards of transparency, ensuring that your hidden ledger is no longer hidden, but a clear testament to your commitment to integrity. As stewards of the legal profession, you are obligated to maintain not just the appearance of propriety, but its very essence. Your discussions and closed sessions, shielded from public view, bear the significant burden of public expectation. As the document outlines, practice of relegating substantial fiscal liabilities to the shadows of closed sessions not only strains our adherence to generally accepted accounting principles, but also casts a long shadow on your institutional credibility. I hope you will use this meeting as a pivotal moment to champion reforms that are deep and meaningful. Please commit to turning your agendas and ledger from a symbol of secrecy into one of transparent accountability. This is your responsibility to the legal community and to every citizen relying on the pillars of justice you uphold. It is crucial, therefore, that you align your closed session practices with stringent transparency standards to foster an environment where public confidence in your operations is unshakable. Thank you for considering these imperative reforms and again for the opportunity to speak today. I look forward to your collective action in fostering a more transparent and accountable state bar. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Hill. And Louisa, Louisa, were Mr. Hill's comments received in written form as well?
Yes, I circulated them last night.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for your comments, Mr. Hill. Tinny, next.
Next, we have Maria Grijalva.
Let me start my timer. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. It had taken me literally 5 years to get here. I'm a former regulations analyst from DMV. I wrote the latest version of the disciplinary guidelines for commercial drivers. I've been fortunate enough to serve on the board of directors of many nonprofit organizations, including NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, Yolo County Chapter, Washington Neighborhood Association, Festival de la Familia. I founded the Toastmasters chapter at DNV and 2 chapters of the League of Women Voters in Davis and West Sacramento. Since 2007, I have run a civil rights advocacy nonprofit organization that serves Spanish speakers. Due process is our focus. Our work has had statewide impact. You'd be proud. We successfully obtained court rulings affirming our right to expression. Another court ruled that our map was legal when I introduced district elections to West Sac. We rescued victims trapped in forced labor. Thanks to federal intervention, the now former council member can no longer threaten employees with deportation in Sacramento. I could go on, but I'm limited. As you know, the legislature found this agency to be deep in corruption and collusion. Very, very political. The Hatch Act prohibits a political workplace. The public needs to know right now that the State Bar Judge Wang gave a 6-month suspension to Girardi's co-conspirator because he only misled the public while Girardi stole $18 million from the public. For me, it is collusion when an employee protects another employee from accountability. Lucky for us, federal prosecutors are stepping in. Girardi has trial May 21st. Lastly, the public record needs to reflect the arrest that I suffered after I made a political donation to a public defender. I donated $43,000 against the county district attorney of Yolo that has been in office for over 20 years. He almost lost his employment with the county by 1,800 votes. A few months later, you need to know I was arrested falsely. I feel it goes against the Hatch Act for the bar not to hold this attorney accountable for his conduct. Don't you agree? It is especially bad if this attorney contacts his buddies or his co-workers or at the Attorney General's office to open an investigation against my campaign signs that are on corner lots. I'm sure you guys have seen campaign signs in corner lots. Isn't that political? Isn't that against the Hatch Act? Yeah. Thank you so much. My name is Maria Grijalva. I'm Latino Information and Resource Center. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Grijalva, thank you for your comments, although I think we'd enjoy maybe some future dialogue with you on some of your thoughts related to the current status of the state bar in regards to Mr. Girardi and many of the actions that we've taken subsequently to remedy many of those situations. So, but I do appreciate your comments. Thank you. I see Trustee Huser has now joined us, and so good morning. Tinny, more in public comment?
Yes. Next, we have Ray Hayden.
Mr. Hayden.
All right, hopefully you can hear me now. I just have basically a point of order thing first before I make my statement. I'm making a statement about like miscellaneous 701. Is this the proper time to do that?
That is not. I mean, you can, but that is, I think, on the the main Board of Trustees agenda. So you might
Right,
wanna-
that's exactly what, you're the finance committee, if I have that right? And
That is
I don't want to interrupt on your time, so I'm gonna pop out, but so when the Board of Trustees meeting specifically starts, that's the one to make the comment on?
Right, and similar to the Finance Committee and all our committees, at the very beginning of the meeting, Mr. Hayden, there will be a time for public comment, and that will be the appropriate time to make your comments.
Excellent, thank you very much, and have a great meeting. Bye.
Kenny? Next,
Yes, we have Schroeter Kinman.
Excuse me, just a minute, folks. Sorry, hi, my name's Schrader Kinman. I'm a member of the Unite Here Local 11. We're the Hotel Workers Union in Southern California. I was reaching out about the actually the bar exam. I've reached out to the committee of bar examiners and wasn't able to get anywhere much. I just wanted to bring this to the attention of the bar that the accommodation hotels there are a couple of accommodation hotels that are reserved, like the Hotel Figueroa, for people who need accommodations to take the bar exam in July, who are those hotels actually have been without a fair contract since July and may be on strike during the bar exam, which could cause major disruptions to anyone who's taking the exam in those hotels. So I'm trying to reach out to the committee of bar examiners, and I believe her name is Audrey Ching, but wanted to bring this to the attention of the board just to cover all the bases and ask that those hotels are not used for the exam in the interest of the students being able to fully focus on what they need to focus on to take this exam. And since they could have accommodations up to double time, it could be up to 4 days of having like picket lines or lack of services or something outside their windows while they're trying to take this important test. So that's why I was just coming by to ask that the board or committee do anything that they're able to help organize so that we aren't sending students to these hotels that could really disrupt their time there. And if anyone's able to contact me about that, I'd be really grateful for that. My number is 213-481-8530, extension 270. That's my official office. And again, my name's Schrader from Unite Here Local 11. Thank you so much. You all have a good one.
Mr. Kinman, oh, we lost him. Are we aware of this situation?
We're aware of the labor strike. I was not aware that we were slated to use impacted hotels in July, but as you know, there are a series of issues associated with identifying facilities for the bar exam. So we'll have to circle back around on that.
Very good. I was trying to get just to catch him before he left, just to make sure that we had his we did capture his telephone number so folks could interact with him as necessary. Tinny, anyone else?
No, there are no other public members who wish to provide public comment.
Trustee Huser, I just have to ask, since we're all at a notice location, no one at your notice location that is a member of the public that wishes to address the Finance Committee?
No.
Okay, very good. I think we are ready to move forward with the remainder of our agenda. I think next on the agenda is the chair's report. Really no report other than I think we're going to try to buzz through this as fast as we possibly can. Not an awful lot on the of real significant heft on the agenda for the Finance Committee today. And our next item on the agenda is the Finance Committee minutes of the March 21st, 2024 Finance Committee meeting. Hope folks might have had a chance to take a look at the minutes. Any comments, concerns with the minutes, and if not, would appreciate a motion to move the minutes. A motion on the minutes, please.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right, Mr. Buenaventura moves. I'll second. Tinny, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Barahona,
Aye.
Buenaventura,
Aye.
Good,
Aye.
Huser,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Trejo,
Aye.
Sewell.
Aye.
Minutes are adopted.
Very good. Now, the first order of business is approval of the 2024 Finance Committee Work Plan. And our Chief Financial Officer, Araceli Montoya-Chico, will make that presentation. Good morning, Araceli.
Yes, hi, good morning, committee members. I'll start off with our first agenda item, which is the approval of the Finance Committee Work Plan. Arnie and I spent some time going over the work plan and making sure that everything that we wanted to include is there, as well as seeking input from Co-Chair Genaro. The Finance Committee Work Plan is something that we do annually for those board members or committee members who are new. We do it annually. We try to capture all of the tasks, if you will, that the Finance Committee is responsible for. So I don't have a presentation, but it is attached in the agenda, and attachment A is listing all of the different responsibilities, if you will, or tasks that the Finance Committee is going to be reviewing or approving for the year 2020-24. And the Finance Committee Work Plan is also part of the Finance Committee Charter itself. So most of the items there are the items that we discuss quarterly, or every other month, I should say, such as review of the financial statements, of the quarterly financial statements, the investment report, obviously being part of the budget process, the review of the budget process, and ultimately approval for the Board of Trustees as well. So all of the tasks that this plan is encompassing for 2024 are included in your attachment A. So if there are any questions on any of those tasks, I can answer them. Otherwise, that's all we have for the Finance Committee Work Plan.
Questions on the Finance Committee Work Plan? Araceli, I know you and I went through this. I did have just one very, very quick question, and that is, I know that we got behind, and I think I may have asked this before, and I think you told me we're good, but I just feel like I need to ask this again. I know we got behind on the quarterly reviews last year, but I think you mentioned that we're back in sync now, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, very good. And my only other comment is something very, very minor, and that is in the attachment. And in the attachment, it says the Finance Committee is comprised of 7 members appointed by the Governor and the Supreme Court. And I want to make sure that the State Senate and the State Assembly is represented there, because Mr. Board Member Trejo is an appointee of the Assembly, and I'm an appointee of the Senate. That's it. We would just make that minor change. And with that, and seeing no questions, we ought to get a motion to approve the 2024 Finance Committee Work Plan.
So moved.
In a second?
I'll second.
Very good. Moved by Mr. Tony. Is that Mr. Trejo that seconded?
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Tenny, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Barahona,
Aye.
Buenaventura,
Aye.
Good,
Aye.
Huser,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Trejo,
Aye.
Sewell.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Very good. The next item on the agenda is approval of the 2024 Q1 financial statements report. And Araceli, I think you're back at it.
Yes, it's me. For this, I do have a quick presentation. So I'm going to share my screen, and once you see it, if you could please let me know in the correct format. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
In presentation mode? Okay. So this is the review of the quarter Q1 2024 financial statement results. So first, as always, I will go through just highlights of revenues, and then it will be followed by the expenses. So for as of quarter 1, year-to-date quarter 1, our total operating revenue bar-wide was about 184 million, which was almost $10 million above budget. And the composition of that surplus, if you will, is in the funds listed below. I'm only going to cover the funds that have relatively significant variance to budget. Obviously, first off, we'll start with the general fund, which is one of our critical funds that we always focus on. It is slightly higher than budget by almost $1 million, just under $1 million. And this is really mainly due to the CTAP fees, late fees incurred from the CTAP program that we've implemented a year ago. One of the things I wanted to really highlight in the general fund as of Q1 is our mandatory fees, which are part of the general fund core revenues. They're likely to fall short for the year. Why do I say this? We receive during our billing season runs through about mid-February, and as of Q1, typically we receive 97 to 98% of the general fund mandatory fee revenues in that quarter. And thereafter, we only receive a very small percentage. So as of Q1, when we look at the total budget, we would need about $3.7 million to reach our targeted annual mandatory fee budget. However, historically, we haven't collected that much money. It's almost $4 million, and historically, we have not seen collection of mandatory fees for the remaining 9 months of the year to be that high. Prior year, for example, we only collected $2.6 million in the last 9 months of the year. So I think it's probably likely that we will fall short on our budgeted goals of mandatory fees. We just have less active attorneys paying. There is an issue with we had some IT issues relating to the CTAP program. So there are a certain number of unpaid attorneys that are a little bit higher than the same point in time last year. So we will make up a little bit of revenue there, but it's not likely that we will make up the entire 3.7 million. So I wanted to just highlight that obviously we're falling short on the revenue side in the general fund. And then we assume that all expenses are equal. Then that means our targeted general fund balance at the end of the year is not going to be what we had projected. So I just wanted to bring that up. Now, obviously, we will keep an eye come Q2, see where the revenue is, and see if a lot of the backlog of unpaid attorneys minimizes and we earn more revenue, but just something that I wanted to highlight for the Finance Committee on our revenue targets in the general fund. So I'm going to move on. On the Equal Access Fund, it is also, it's actually slightly below budget by, again, almost $1 million, 700,000. And that's really just due to some prior grants that were returned, and there was a little bit of reduced billing time in our admin reimbursement costs that each fund, the Equal Access Fund, that the Equal Access Fund we can recoup. There's some delayed billings there and reduced billable time from some staff turnover. On the grants fund, as you can see, it's slightly below budget, only about 300,000. This is really just due again to some delayed billable time, but we usually do make that up during the year in the grants fund. And again, all the grant related funds, which is the Equal Access Fund, the grants fund, and the Legal Services Trust Fund, those are all pass-through funds. So most of the money that comes in gets passed to subrecipients, and we only get to keep a small portion, which is this admin reimbursement costs that I'm speaking about. Moving on to the Legal Services Trust Fund, as you can see, this is well above budget by almost 10 million. And this is a continuing trend that we're also seeing this year that I've mentioned in previous quarters. It's really just the average daily balances that we budgeted compared to the actuals is significantly higher. Our actual account, average account balances is about 5.4 billion, whereas we budgeted about 4.4 billion. So obviously with that amount of money and the interest rates that are being earned, it's just exceeding our budget in the Legal Services Trust Fund. The admissions fund is also slightly above budget, and this is mostly due to the July bar exam. There's more participants that have registered for the July bar exam that have cost a surplus or exceeding expectations for the budget. The February bar exam only had about $100,000 above budget for the February bar exam. And then the other funds, the main reason for the overage, and it was slightly overage, only about less than $500,000, is really just from the Justice Gap Fund. There's class action settlements that get donated. And that's really the main reason why the other funds is over budget, ahead of revenue. Moving on to the expenses, bar wide again, our expenses are about $84 million, which is almost $10 million under budget. And again, the composition of that variance is at the fund level, as you see here in this slide. So first off, with the general fund, of course, we are below budget by about $4.6 million. And a lot of this is mainly due to our accrual reversals that happen at the beginning of the year from the prior year. So for accounting purposes, we have to do several accruals. And obviously, once the new year starts, we have to reverse them. So there could be negative expenses in the first quarter that you see offsetting the actuals. Obviously, as the year progresses, you know, that negative expense, if you will, from the accrual reversal gets smaller and smaller. There's additional also savings in outside of the reversal for the accrual in the general fund expenses. There are savings primarily in professional services from IT, and this is really just mostly due to invoice submission delays and some project start delays. IT tends to be an office that has more spending in the second half of the year. So as the year progresses and you see the quarterly statements, you'll see more expenses incurred as the year progresses, and particularly in the second part of the year. There's also a little bit of the Rule 2201 program. There was a fewer referrals and a delayed trial start date. So that also cost savings in the general fund expenses. But again, you should see it catch up as the year goes on. Moving on to the Equal Access Fund, it's also below budget on the expenses by about $700,000. And this is similar reason to the revenue side. There was return of grant funds that were referenced in the revenue side. So you'll see the same impact on the expense side as well. Moving on to the admissions fund, which is the next significant variance. This admissions fund is also below budget by about $1 million. And this is really just a timing of invoices from proctors and graders, and a little bit of savings in facilities from really using our state bar facilities. The admissions fund was able to realize some savings there. Otherwise, it's just really a timing of invoices. So again, you know, once the year goes on and invoices are submitted, we'll see more expenses come through. And finally, the last variance here is in other funds. It's about a $2.4 million below budget, but the bank, so there was a budgeting error in the bank settlement fund, which is captured in this other funds line item. We were provided information that was 2 years worth instead of 1 year. So there will be, so this is why it shows a lot less than what the expense should be. But for the mid-year budget, we are going to do a budget amendment to correct that, to make sure that we only budgeted 1 year instead of 2. And that is all I have for the quarter one financial statement results. If anybody has any questions, I will stop sharing my screen.
Questions from trustees? I don't see any off the top.
I just have one, Chair. So
please.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Araceli. Do you know what are the implications if we don't reach our budgeted mandatory fees?
So if all else equal, it would impact the fund balance at the end of the year, right? We projected about a 14 million fund balance, and that's made up of our assumption that we're going to have this much revenue and this much expenses in the year. So it could impact that. Obviously, I'm hoping that we can make up, if it does indeed get fall short, that we can make up through other revenue means. For example, our investment income, it's still doing well. It's still exceeding our budgeted projections, so that can help offset some of that revenue loss in the mandatory fees. But it's my main concern would be the fund balance. If everything else is equal, it would just eat into the fund balance that we projected.
Thank you.
Other questions? Araceli, but it does appear on the expenditure side, we're running below in terms of general fund expenditures as well. So seems like it'll net out some sort of way, right?
Yes, so far, yes, but historically, the later half of the year tends to be more heavy in expenditures than you would see in Q1 or Q2. So I just want to be mindful that more expenses are going to come in Q2, and hopefully we should be on target. There's nothing that has come to light today, even as of May, that would indicate that we would be not on budget with expenses so far.
Other questions? Okay, and Trustee Barahona, I think you may know that the next item on the agenda deals with the investment report, and so we'll see that, as Araceli mentioned, that we are doing quite well as it relates to investments. Seeing no other questions, can I have a motion to accept the 2024 Q1 financial statements report?
So moved.
Just because with the screen up, I couldn't with the resolution up, I couldn't see who made that motion. Was that you, Mr. Buenaventura?
It was, yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, you got it. And the second? I'll second. I'll second. Tinny, would you mind calling the roll, please?
Barahona,
Aye.
Buenaventura,
Aye.
Good,
Aye.
Huser,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Trejo,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays. The motion carries.
Very good. Very good. And I think our last item for today is approval of the 2024 Q1 investment report. And looking to you again, Araceli.
Yes, thank you. I don't have a presentation for this particular agenda item. Really, the details are your attachments A1 and A2 in the agenda itself. I don't have anything, or the only thing I can say for the investments is we've continued to have really favorable investment rates. You see the summary. Our market value is about 309 million. Most of that is grant money. But the general fund does benefit from some of the really high interest yields that we're earning. If you see, they're mostly in the upper 4%, and all of them are now in the 5%, which is something we haven't seen in many years. So obviously we're getting really good investment returns, and that's helping us with our investment income, at least particularly in the general fund. So there's no indication that the Fed is going to cut the rates anytime soon compared to what it was in prior quarter, for example. It appears it's only going to be once this year. So the rates have still maintained most recently in the 5% ish range. So as the investments mature, obviously we will reinvest them, and my hope is that the rates will still be hitting around 5%. Otherwise, anybody has any questions?
Questions on the investment report? I don't see any. I'll just say just really a quick one from me, and that is, when our investments mature, is it almost like an automatic renewal or a rollover, or you have to take some affirmative steps to do that?
No, I have to take affirmative steps to do anything. Yeah, it's not an automatic renewal. I have to be proactive about it and work to see which are the best rates out there, which are the allowable investments to put money in.
Okay. I think I knew the answer to that already, but go ahead. I don't see any additional questions. Can I get someone to move this item, which is to approve the 2024 Q1 investment report?
So moved.
Okay, I think that was Trustee Barahona. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, I think that was Trustee Good. Can I get you to call the roll, please?
Barahona,
Aye.
Buenaventura,
Aye.
Good,
Aye.
Huser,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Trejo,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays. The motion carries.
Very good. I think that was the last item on our agenda, trustees. I appreciate your participation, and we'll see you further as the day moves on. So thank you for your participation. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.